Hello, I'm Dr. Tom, and I'd like to welcome you to this Friday's update. Last week we talked about people in your lives that you have the ability to influence, that you have the ability to mentor or to guide or to coach, and we referred to them as you're the uncle for them. In other words, you're in a position of leadership. And while I was watching the Friday update with Anna, because I watch this every week as well, so that I can see what it looks like from your perspective. I know the message of my intention. I know what I intend to relay to you. But the way you grow and the way you learn is to study yourself, to understand how you can better communicate. And Anna mentioned to me, a great word in there would have been steward. And I looked at her with that look of amazement still and said, you're absolutely right. That is a great word. To steward something, to take responsibility, to move it forward, to make sure that someone is paying attention. And it got me to thinking this week. And so I spent this week thinking about stewardship. And you being a steward of the most important aspect, a steward of you, a steward of yourself. You see, when we join Jen, our intention is to grow in some way, to get bigger in some way, to think bigger in some way. Whether that's in a health category or a financial or wealth building category or in a relationship category or simply looking for happiness. Something bigger. And so my ask for you this week is to begin to think bigger. I'm reminded of this when we were recently in Europe, and that one of the reasons that I go to Europe is because it allows me to think bigger. I love being in the environment that is old and established. Things that have stood the test of time. Things that work. Things that, to me, have a foundation. And I look at the foundation. What is the foundation of the culture? What is the foundation of the people that are there? What is the foundation of the structures, the churches, the monuments? How is it that they were built to last hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years? Where today a lot of our society is simply a throwaway society. You buy something, you use it for a few years, and then you just throw it away and you get something new. Completely different concept. And so we always like to enjoy ourselves and immerse ourselves in the culture that is there. And it's one of the great things, whether it's in Paris or anywhere in Europe or other countries or other continents. I always like to immerse myself and get away from some of the touristy stuff and get to know the people that are there. Who are they? What's their foundation? And we did that when we were recently in Paris and went to a Michelin-rated restaurant for lunch called Auguste, and it was right by Rodin, the museum, where those of you that have seen the sculpture of the thinking man, where the pose where he puts his hand, it's that posture. And it got me to thinking. It got me to thinking about the foundation of what happens, the building blocks. And as you know, Paris is world-renowned for its food and wine and the pairings and the basic fundamentals of that. And actually, when we went from lunch to the museum, which is in Rodin's home, we walked by a shop. And in this shop, in the window of this shop, was an aga, which is a range, a very high-end range that I first saw when we were doing some work for Kevin in the UK, when I was with Lee Kenny and Andrew Melcher with the Golf Channel. He had one of these ranges, the first one I'd ever seen. And then later when I was visiting a winery and a mansion in Argentina, I saw the second one, and I thought, these are really cool. Well, come to find out, Dr. Ted has one. And it's amazing what happens. These structures are magnificent pieces of art. It's a foundation of the kitchen. And so we stepped in the shop, a shop that was brand new opening up. I mean, they were literally just putting out some samples of what they had. And there was a range front and center, kind of the showroom area of this. And this range was very unique looking, and it had a unique paint job on it. So much so that I took a picture of it. I took a picture of it with Anna in it so you could get a size representation for what this was. And then the store owner came over to us and we began to chat, and he was just showing us around about what they had. And this was a La Cornue. And you go to their website and look at some of these things. It's amazing. This particular range, he said it was a custom art on the range done by local famous artists in Paris. And so I asked him the pricing on that range, and he said the price of that range was $350,000. And I kind of took a step back and I thought, you know, it is a beautiful range. And it got me to thinking bigger. It got me to thinking, who would buy the $350,000 range? He said there are only 6 of them in the world. And I know there are 6 people out there that would love to have this. And so I'm sure they will sell. But it got me to thinking bigger. It got me to think that is the cornerstone. That is the foundation of the kitchen. The kitchen where family meals are prepared, where that bonding, that time, it's so important. What would the kitchen look like that you would put a $350,000 range in? Because you have to buy other appliances. You ultimately will need a table. You'll need a refrigerator. You'll need a sink. I mean, you're not going to buy a $200 sink and a $100 faucet to put next to a $350,000 range. So it got me to thinking about the kitchen. And then the kitchen would be a part of the home. What would the master suite look like there? What would the dining area look like there? What would the patio and the garden area look like there? And it got me to thinking bigger. And Anna and I continued that conversation for days, talking about dream building, thinking about what it is. And you know, it's not all about material things. It's about dreaming, and it's about looking forward to the rest of your life. It's about the stewardship of your life. And so we got to thinking about that foundation and whether or not you join Jen for material things, which is fine. It's a beautiful thing. Or maybe you joined it for spirituality, or maybe you joined for relationship building. Maybe you joined for happiness. Regardless of why you joined, I'm going to ask you this week to reflect on that. And are you accomplishing what you set out to do? Are you spending time on that? Are you working toward that? Or are you just sitting back saying, well, that was a thought, and you know, I'm sure it will happen. I understand this law of attraction, and if I just sit back and do nothing, I'm sure it will happen. That's not the way that works. And so my ask for you this week is for you to take 5 minutes, 5 simple minutes. You may want to do it at the end of this video. Just take 5 minutes and reflect on an aspect, just one of those aspects of your life, whether it's in material things. Maybe it's a new car, maybe it's a new home, maybe it's a new television. The what isn't as important as the focus and intention and your desire on the accomplishment of that goal or chief aim in smaller steps. You can put it in any of those categories, whether it's in wealth or in business building, whether it's in material things, whether it's in spirituality. Spend 5 minutes reflecting on your intention of that category. Spend 5 minutes thinking about how you could have a better relationship in one that's stressful. Maybe it's one of those people we've been connecting that you hadn't talked to in some time. Maybe it's a current relationship. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's a boss. You see, what's important is for you to spend some time and focus on your intention for the future. We're about to wind up. It will come very quickly, the end of 2018. Did you accomplish, have you accomplished in 2018 what you intended to in January? There's still time left to get it done. There's still time left for you to grow. There's still time left for you to spend that time reflecting. And then once you do that, begin to share that with others. You see, this is the perfect time to involve your mastermind. Once you've identified what it is that you intend to focus on, it's a perfect time to invite your mastermind, your group of friends, your group of like-minded individuals. Actually, this time of year is the time of year when the veil is the thinnest. And you can call on people to answer your questions with intention. It's a time of year that once you begin to focus on your accomplishments that have occurred in 2018, it's a beautiful time to share this club with others. And it's a beautiful time to share that sponsoring opportunity that I talked about last week, where Dr. Ted and Blaine and I talked about how can we help people get more people involved in GEN so that our club can continue its growth, so that we can continue to influence other lives, so that we can help others learn how to steward themselves so they can steward others, so they can mentor others, so they can assist others on their journey, so they can show them, if you'll walk, this is where you end up. That's the goal, and that's why the sponsoring bonus that we announced last week will continue through November the 15th. And it simply is, it's over 50% off of the join fee. For $245, a person can join GEN between now and November the 15th. And that $245 will go to the sponsor. 100% of it will go directly to the sponsor. So that the win is the same for the sponsor. And then we decided there's an extra bonus. And where is it? Where is it that the gathering of GEN membership, the GEN brothers and sisters get together and people make the greatest decisions? They make life-changing decisions. They begin to steward themselves in those areas of health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. And that is, of course, at our major events. And so we decided that anyone joining between now and November the 15th will actually gift them additionally the ticket, the event ticket itself to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic in February, when it's cold in a lot of parts of the world. It will be warm, it will be sun, it will be beautiful. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to spending time with you there, and I look forward to sharing dreams with you there. I look forward to you accomplishing your dreams and your stewardship of you. Until next week, I'm Dr. Tom. We'll talk then.